here we go. Wheel of SNES re-rank episode. So, 15 games in, got some stuff right, got some stuff wrong. It's weighed heavy on our heart. I feel like we did some games dirty, Josh. Do you feel accurate?
I feel we've done a few games dirty.
And we may have put a couple of games on a pedestal that didn't need to be.
Yeah, I give you that.
So basically what we're going to do is the 15 games that we went for, we're about to rewrite the book. Why? Because we can. And we're going to go back through.
For one, there's nobody listening to this.
Yes, that is true. And I've got 3, I guess, superlatives at the end of this that I don't know what Josh is going to re-rank. And he doesn't know what I'm going to re-rank.
No, this is a complete blind re-ranking.
Basically, I'm not going to go through the, I will. No, I won't. I ain't going through all 15 games. They can listen to the last episode to see where you were on your 15 games, Josh.
Yep, I agree with that.
Now, I don't know what Josh's 15 games are, and he doesn't know what my 15 games are.
Nope, this is a blind one. Normally, the games, our rankings are right in front of us, and we just say where they're at from there.
And we typically don't discuss our episodes a whole lot, so we get genuine reactions, but this is literally off the fly. And I think we're going to do this maybe like snake draft, Josh. If you go first, then you go like round 1, 2, 2, 1.
Yep. I got you.
So we got a coin right here to who's going to go first.
So you call it heads or tails.
It's tails.
That is heads.
Okay.
So I go first.
So I think you're going to tell us the number 15 game.
Yep, I'll do 15.
And then I'll do 14, then 13. I don't know. Does it work that way?
Well, I would have to tell you my 15, then you would have to say your 15.
Yes. Then I go to 14.
Then you go to 14.
Yes.
And then you do 13. Then I do 14, then you do 13.
In case you and I didn't know, that's how it's going to work.
Okay. My number 15 game.
I bet I can guess it.
I bet you can. It's Untouchables.
That is one that did not change from your previous rank.
It did not, and I don't think it changed from yours.
Anything you want to say about Untouchables?
It's still horrible.
I will go ahead and tell you, you did hit the nail on the head. Untouchables is 15. On a 15-item list, I would name it 20 if I could.
Yeah, it would be a lot lower if I really could have.
There's some games, especially in the middle, like you could argue the difference between a number 7 and a number 5 game, perhaps.
Exactly.
Untouchables, abomination.
Horrible.
Like,
horrible.
If I had the complete set of Super Nintendo games except for Untouchables, I'll be okay not on it.
I count that as a win.
Yes.
I count that as a win.
Okay. So number 14
number
coming
14.
in here. Let me refer to my list. We both had Untouchables at 15.
We did.
Originally, 14 was Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens is not 14 for me anymore.
Oh, it moved up?
It moved up. I knew this game was hot garbage. I had high hopes for it. And it was hot garbage. And I felt...
You felt cheated?
No. I felt cheapened.
Cheapened? Okay.
I'm dropping number 14 as Obidus.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and tell you my reason on Obidus. I played a lot of these text-based games on MS-DOS. It's an Amiga game. I get it. I'm not a huge fan of Amiga games. But the ability... And I appreciate a game that lets you screw yourself.
I agree.
But this game was not fun. It allowed you to screw yourself. It was clunky. It was just hot garbage. And it had a horrible ending at the end of it. You know, it was like, there was no like real... It was, congratulations, you kind of won. Obidus was pretty bad.
Obidus was bad.
I'm just going to leave it there. That's my 14.
And, I mean, you hit the nail on the head.
You got Obidus.
Obidus is number 14 for me as well, sir.
We may not know nothing about games, but we know what games suck.
We know what we hate.
Obidus, you know... I feel like Obidus is... These games right here at 15, they're going to be in the low 600, 700 range on games.
Untouchables has to be in the 700 range. It has to, right?
I will be entertained to play a game worse than Untouchables. I'm not saying there's not one out there, but it by far and away was the worst.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Like, I can argue even Obidus against some of the other bad games, but Untouchables was the worst.
Untouchables by far was the worst.
So I feel like Untouchable, Obidus, we're there. This is the gospel. Then this isn't gossip. This is the gospel.
This is it.
You come at me with number 13.
Okay, number
Joshua.
13 for me. I mean, okay, this game I sort of respect on what they did, but they done it terrible. All right, it was a fast-paced style game built like Sonic, but it wasn't good enough. It was a very bad style of this, and it just it hurt my heart. And I see you already over there starting to write a K, and it's Kid Cleat.
It's Kid Cleats.
It's Kid Cleats.
Soccer kid.
100%. Like the game itself, the game was super fast. It was very quick. But the overall ability to attack people was too slow. You got hurt way more than you needed. And the storyline itself wasn't good at all.
So essentially what I'm hearing, it just wasn't fun.
It wasn't fun.
Okay, so my first gut check was between 12 and 13. And I could go either way today. I got Kid Cleats at number 13. I guess it's easy when we play the same crappy game.
It is.
Now, what tips the hat for Kid Cleats being number 13 for me is I felt like I was going to have an epileptic seizure. Like, as jerky as the whole screen was, how fast-paced it was, how I was a freaking soccer player in college. At a community college, but a college nonetheless. I'm down for a freaking soccer game.
Especially whenever you save the world.
Yeah. And it's got aliens in it. Aliens, soccer, kid saving the world. The kid looks a little stereotypical.
He looked extremely stereotypical.
The game wasn't fun.
No, it wasn't.
1 out of 10. Don't recommend.
No.
That's what I give Kid Cleats.
Nope, I agree.
Now, I do feel like going for 14 to 13. Obidus and Kid Cleats, there's a big jump there.
There's a big jump there.
So there's going to be several that fall in between this. Number 12, that I've went back and forth with myself over making this game 12 or 13. And I will tell you, I did have more fun. And there's one thing I keep in mind that you told me. That you said, at least they went with the names. Number 12.
Roger Clemens!
Number 12 is Roger Clemens.
Go ahead and put me down for that as well.
Oh, Lord.
Like I said, they kept it fun with the nicknames, at least. I mean,
I will tell you, as difficult as this game was to play. Now, when I played it, that was the worst game I'd ever played in my life. It really was.
But you bought it.
I did buy it in the box. I forgot about that. No poster, but I got it in the box with the instruction manual.
And just to remind the listener, I didn't say listeners. I said singular listener. Remember, we're doing this blind. Like, no joke, we don't see each other's list whatsoever. So I don't know what that says about me and George here.
I will go ahead and tell you, though, this is what... Other than the epileptic seizure of Kid Cleats, this is one of the defining things that sticks with me about Roger Clemens. When you mention Roger Clemens, I can't believe I won a damn game of this because it was that tough. Probably of all the baseball games, sometimes you can. One of the defining things of this game that gives it to me, like Kid Cleats, you gotta have a damn seizure. I feel like. Crap game. Roger Clemens, crap game. But not only do you have the names, this is the one thing when you mention Roger Clemens that sticks with me, is if the computer scores 99 points and hits 100, it goes back to 0. So it's not necessarily, do you have to be that good or do you have to suck that bad? And I got beat by 60 points in my first game on this.
Oh yeah, I did too. It was terrible.
So that's where I give a subtle tip of the hat to Roger Clemens. Now, it's still a horrible game.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely dog trash.
I will never play it again. I don't know if you paid me $20 to go play it for an hour, I might just say no. I don't know that that's how bad this game is, but that is my number 12. That's your number 12.
That's my number 12.
What you got is your number 11. I got to look at what I got.
Okay, my number 11 is...
I know we are off on this one. My number 11 is going to be way lower than your number 11.
Okay. My number 11 personally it was the first game we played that was based off of a movie. It's No Escape.
It's No Escape. I got you.
And the reasoning why is, number one, if you hit down and B, you dropped off of the stage. All right? Why was that an option? Why could you do that? That made no sense. Secondly, it prompts you as, it didn't give you any prompts, honestly. Like, I mean, I sat there for 10 minutes fighting enemy after enemy after enemy after enemy whenever all you got to do is run. If I didn't watch the movie and then try to play it like the fucking movie.
I will tell you, if you never seen the movie, if you said, I don't care about the movie, I don't want to watch the movie,
you're not going to enjoy this game whatsoever. You're not going to understand this
could argue this game may be below Roger Clemens for me.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
I did watch the movie.
And then you done what I done. You copied what he does. He just fucking runs.
It's going to be a minute before I get to No Escape.
Really?
It's going to be a minute.
Okay. Well, my number 11 is No Escape.
I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, the one person that listens to this is not going to like this. And it may not be 100% their fault, because I thought I was getting...
Is it 100% my fault?
No, I thought I was getting a different game at first. Even though I own this game, I think.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was getting Final Fight. I got Fatal Fury.
I can see.
I didn't like it. I didn't like the controls. I thought it was clunky. It was slow. You know, I'm not a fighter guy, so I give it that. Now, it's not that I'm not good at them. It's not like I don't want to play them just because I'm not good. But I didn't enjoy it. Now, that's probably like saying, hey, Mario 1 versus Mario Odyssey or something like that. I don't know. But if it ain't Mortal Kombat and it ain't Street Fighter, and I don't even know if I like those games anymore. Fatal Fury was down there for me.
You hold your tongue. Mortal Kombat is always a classic.
Well, I feel like if you said Mortal Kombat, I've got it up. My fighters are Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, 1A, 1B. If I played them, I've not played them in years. And maybe in Marvel vs. Capcom. I enjoyed those when they were out.
Those are fun. Those are entertaining.
Them are arcade games for me. I don't enjoy playing them necessarily on my Super Nintendo. I mean,
I agree. Okay.
So I got Fatal Fury. I know I'm out on an island on that.
Yeah.
Number 10. And I'm sitting here, I might.
Are you gonna do a mid re-ranking here?
No. Because if it was just going by the easy mode, if it was a normal mode, it would be below Fatal Fury. But because it had an easy mode that you didn't know about, and it made the game way tolerable. And the highlight of this game was me finishing it in like 7 or 8 minutes. I'm going at number 10 with Dracula. Bram Stoker's Dracula. The best part of that game was it ending.
Throw me down for Dracula for number 10.
That was a horrible game.
Honestly,
and you know what? I'm going to go out here. Shit movie, shittier game. I feel like the I don't know. What's worse, the movie or the game?
The movie was better.
Yeah.
I will say that. The movie was better. But the reason why I put it at number 10 is, I didn't know I had an easy mode. I played it on normal. My whole downfall with it is the enemies in that game. Okay? For one, I had to restart whenever the drunkard on the first level kept fucking hitting me.
Yeah. Now, at the end of the day, when you say the best part of a game is it ending, that kind of puts it in perspective.
It does.
And I feel like I would just walked in and somehow mastered this game and played it on hard and beat it, and you said, oh yeah, I beat the same game, but I played it on easy and it was like 7 minutes, I would hate this game more. Like
100%. And I even done it right. Like, I even got the sword that gave me a longer attack range. So, I mean, I treated this game like Mega Man pretty much. Is I just spammed that fucking button the entire time. That way I wouldn't take damage. But guess what? You take hits from ranged attacks no matter what. So, yes, I'll put this as number 10 for me.
Okay. So
moving to number 9.
These are the bottom third of the crappy games we played.
It is. It is the bottom third.
Number 9. What you got,
Number
Josh?
9. I appreciate what they tried. I appreciate that. They tried to pull a Contra.
Okay.
But it was.
I already know where you're at.
It was too floaty. It's time slip. It was way too floaty. The directional pad and everything like that wasn't good. Aiming was hard. Overall, I ranked this at number 9 because of the simple fact that I get what they were trying to do. They just failed at what they were trying to do.
The fad of time slip wore off pretty quick.
It did.
And that was it. I do give them props. If you're going to imitate a game, imitate a good game.
Imitate the best at what they did.
Time slip's a little higher than number 9 for me, but I can't defend it. At the end of the day, when we fill this list out, I think we're going to end up in the same area, time slip. I'm just not there yet.
Okay.
So, where I'm at on my number 9 is just, it's close. 8 and 9 is close.
Okay.
I enjoyed it, but I think we had too many Amiga games back to back. I got my number 9 as Super Putty.
No!
Yes.
Doom Space Astronaut Ninja.
I think for me, there was just too much going on the screen at any time. It was just, I like the chaos. There was just too much. They could have said more with less on that game. Like, if you dialed it back 1/8, I think it would have did it better. I didn't like the point system, and it may have just been a little fresh on me since we had... And I had Super Putty as number 9 on my normal list to begin with, so it actually stayed at the same spot. Not the worst game. I did get entertainment out of it. And I feel like maybe it's a little unfair that if I would have just played it to what I enjoyed and then quit, I would have been okay. But I was trying to play it to beat, and I hated it. So I think 9 is accurately ranked for me. I know you're way higher on Super Putty.
I give you that. I do give you that. Like I said, Super Putty, I treated it like it was. It was an arcade game.
So I'm going to go ahead and roll up to number 8. The only argument you can have for me having this game is I don't have it any lower. It's just because the movie was that damn good. I got No Escape as my number 8. And, the difference between No Escape and Super Putty for me was No Escape was the trading aspect where you had to go to the camps and trade was horrible. I hated that. But I hated the music of Super Putty more. That's what determined number 8 from number 9. If you ain't ever watched the No Escape movie and you like 90s action movies, you're going to enjoy the hell out of No Escape. Like, it's so absurd and over the top. The movie may have tipped the hat for me. I got it at number 8.
Okay. I see that. I do. My number 8 is going to come in because levels were too long. Music got extremely repetitive.
I know what you're going to say. You're talking about nuts.
Yeah, there was a sprint button that I put in air quotes, which you didn't move faster, it just made you jump farther. I said, they could at least gave you, the sprinting button could have made you move a little bit faster. That way it was noticeable.
You're right.
How did I get your doll's hair in my mouth right off the bat?
It's a husky. It happens.
Okay.
It happens. Mr. Nuts, I'm a little higher on Mr. Nuts than you, but I don't know. I think I might enjoy the story of Mr. Nuts, of it being made the way. It was literally like 3-4 people. I feel like was when we did the research on that.
It was, and I give them that. I give them that credit.
Once again, though,
but out of those 3 to 4 people, you mean to tell me that they didn't once notice the sprint button?
That sprint button was bullshit. That was like literally after I couldn't get past that. I feel like it was the second stage of the first level. I failed it so many times I had to Google, what am I doing wrong? Because I cannot make
this. I didn't Google. I quit. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm done.
All right. What you got for your number 7, brother?
My number 7 is, you've already ranked it. And I thought it was a solid game.
Okay.
I really did. It's Fatal Fury.
I'm not going to argue on that.
I understand where you ranked it because you were thinking you were getting Final Fight. You thought you were getting something completely different.
Well, it's a genre I typically don't play, and then I thought I was getting Final Fight, which may still suck, but I have fond memory. I played Final Fight many of hours.
So, like I said, I understand your ranking, and I think your ranking is a little bit biased because you're ranking it all on the pretext of you thought it was.
I'm ranking what I like.
Yeah, you're ranking it as if it's supposed to be this game, but to me, no, the game itself wasn't bad. I said I enjoyed it. So
and part of this, and it's stuff that I've said in other games as well, and it's not Fatal Fury's fault. And there may be games in this Fatal Fury King of Fighter that I do enjoy down the line. It's just in today's modern gaming that we've got accustomed to, just the same as, whether it's the text box and Mickey and Minnie, the game's so slow. And that may have been how they all were. That's what killed me was even though when you're thinking fighting game, I remember when we're doing Mortal Kombat, playing it with friends, it was like we made a rule. It was like, you can't do you can't do a move 3 times because you get somebody in there and your leg's sweeping them to death.
Yeah.
So it was, if you leg sweep me 4 times, I get to punch you in the face. Like, it's no holds barred.
Yeah.
You slap a controller.
Yeah, you get to beat the shit out of the person in real life.
Maybe Mortal Kombat's like that nowadays, but I feel like that game, Street Fighter Turbo. It's in the name, Turbo. It seems like it's so much faster. I feel like Fatal Fury is just clunky. But at the end of the day, I can't do no special moves with that. Like, I suck at doing special moves. I suck at fighter games. I don't hate them, but they're not my genre. So I figured you would have Fatal Fury higher than number 7 on this.
No, because I am okay. I'm not gonna lie. I'm building my Rushmore completely. I was trying to do it with different games, but you broke me on our last episode of. Put up there what you like.
That's it.
So I'm putting up there what I like.
Hey, if your top 4 are similar, it's other people's fault for not making a better game. Are you giving them participation trophies? Now, maybe down the line we do a best RPG, a best action, best fighter. But, we're 15 games in. It's not our fault they made a bad game.
True.
So, all right. So my number 7... I'm going to go ahead and go with one that you've already mentioned. I ended up going with some cheats on this one to complete it. Probably would have it lower down if I didn't. Time Slip. I did enjoy it. As the game went on, probably like most games, as it drug on. It wasn't like I enjoyed playing it all the way through. I felt like once you got to the Egypt levels, some of the animations got pretty cheesy.
It did.
And I'm all good for a kooky getting to fight a mummy, but like we're fighting freaking space lizards for God's sake. I don't need the hell with a mummy. Brendan Fraser could take care of a mummy. I need to shoot some space lizards.
He did.
It
was a great movie. All right.
So I'll tell you one thing though, that people that's wrong is a lot of the criticism I think was they thought the game was too easy. The hell it was.
No, that game was difficult.
They're the ones that can freaking speedrun Mega Man X.
Yeah. I still haven't beat that game.
I ain't ever played that game.
On adult.
I ain't ever
as
played
an adult.
that
I beat it as a kid. I remember that.
So this one right here, I'm going to drop down.
All right. So we're at what? Number 6 now?
We're coming in at number 6.
Okay.
It's close. I'm in turmoil. Mr. Nuts.
Mr. Nuts?
Mr. Nuts for me was a number 3 game. It is on my Mount Rushmore.
So you just done a mid-saga ranking.
Well, I got gut checked by Mickey and Minnie. I got gut checked by them.
I mean...
And then I'm looking at the whole picture of it. Mr. Nuts, it's a number 6 game for me.
It's the levels are too long and the music, right?
The music.
Yeah.
The levels were too long. The sprint button was bullshit. That's something that stands out of how bad that game was the sprint button. I did appreciate that we were getting kind of like a knockoff Mario / Sonic game. Even though Mr. Nuts, even though it's number 6 on my list, it's still better than Sonic the Hedgehog.
I will punch you in your whore mouth.
Maybe Sonic Spinball
no.
is better.
All Sonic games are better than this damn Mr. Nuts.
So, yeah, I'm going to put...
The only thing Mr. Nuts has going for it is it's fucking expensive.
If Mr. Nuts, if I got him at number 6, if you want to argue out of 15, like, that's my preference. Could he be as low as number 9? I would say number 10. I got Dracula at number 10. Mr. Nuts, far better game than Dracula.
Yeah, that's...
I can argue between
I put him at 8. Yeah. So, I mean...
I got him at 6. I could argue 3 spots.
Yeah.
You could convince me to go one way or the other.
Yeah.
So, what's your number 6, sir?
Okay, my number 6 is... I hate to say this. I do, because overall...
You're laughing, so I feel like you're going to love to say this.
No, I'm not. Like, overall, I understood it. I understood what they done. It was the biggest pet peeve of yours for a trivia game. It's Jeopardy Sports. They brought out baseball players wearing the attire. Like, I understood it.
You're wrong. There's no way.
6.
There's no way Jeopardy Sports is number 6.
There is, and I will tell you why.
Yeah, all right. If you're gonna, I agree with you. The uniforms, I don't need a caddy carrying a damn bag. I don't need a baseball player with his freaking hat, his pinstripes, and his damn bat on his shoulder. I get it. You're a baseball player, okay? It's still Jeopardy. It's still Jeopardy.
But the reasoning why I rank this at number 6 is for one simple reasoning. I understand Jeopardy. I love Jeopardy. Give me the ability to where I can choose between 4 answers or questions in parentheses instead of trying to hammer this shit out.
Okay, I'll give you that. When we get to this, I'm going to talk about hammering shit out because it hits a little differently for me. So, what year were you born, Joshua?
I was born in 90, so I did.
Okay. So I got 9 years on you. I got 9 years.
I knew a select few of these. At least give me a fighting chance.
I got 9 years on you, so it hits a little different for me. So I give you that when I get to Jeopardy, which is going to be a minute. I'll explain why this.
But let's say, give me a fighting chance. So I understood what they've done. It's Jeopardy Sports, so yes, of course your people are going to be dressed up in sports attire. I don't see your big deal with that.
Okay, come at me with your number 5. You done. Blasphemy Jeopardy down to number 6.
Number 5?
Just so you know, Jeopardy was at number 3. That was a Mount Rushmore game that you say that basically fucking sucks now. That's what I hear.
It doesn't suck at all. It's just that, yes, I didn't know enough. I'm sorry I'm not a sports savant. I don't know who hit the first Grand Slam.
I'll go ahead and tell you, I didn't know half the answers to Jeopardy Sports either. It was just I knew the right ones at the right time.
You knew more than me. Cause
I was alive during that time, I will tell you that.
I didn't know probably a 10th of them.
Okay.
So, number 5, coming in. And then, you know what?
Look, you're making fun of me. You're re-ranking in the middle of this. I mean, if you want me to, I'll take number 5 while you can think over here.
No, it's an easy decision. I will straight up put this on here. I am re-ranking my number 4 and number 5.
Okay.
For one reason.
I think mine and your number 5 is going to be the same. I'm just going to say that.
I am going to explain to you right now. Number 5 is True Lies.
Wow. Okay.
And the reasoning why is on True Lies. To me, you couldn't beat it without God mode.
That is accurate.
You could not beat this game without God mode. There's no way.
To me, there's no way I could beat Time Slip without the God mode. And I felt like I was cheating the game. During True Lies, I was cool playing it in God mode.
You had to.
I was kind of like playing Doom in God mode. On Nightmare. It was like, you're cheating, but you were having fun the whole time.
Yeah, you had to beat this game on God mode.
At the end of the day, I do think that we will not have a game based off a movie that I can recall. Like, up close to the top. Like, there's so many bad games based off movies. I think
this one done it good.
True Lies may be the best game that we play on the Super Nintendo based off a movie. And I know I'm not looking at a list right here or anything, but like True Lies is, as far as games, this is going to be a superlative later on. Best games based off movies.
I agree.
This could be, that's going to be a Mount Rushmore.
It's got to be. Like I said, this game, it was good. It done the movie justice. It's just that you couldn't beat the game without God mode. There's no way.
You're accurate. Now, I'm sure Lee Hulk and these speedrunner bastards can do it. But for a normal person who has a life that we're not just...
We don't make money off of YouTube.
We don't make money in real life, hardly. But...
That's true.
But...
That's true.
True Lies... at the end of the day, if you said, hey, we've got that in the top 33%, I agree with that.
Yeah, I could see that as the top 33.
Well, you've got it as number 5. So out of our 15 games, you got it in the top 33.3 point something.
It's 33.3 repeating.
I won't argue that you got it in the top 1/3 of the games that we've played so far. There's no doubt that it's there. My number 5 that I thought you were going to go with, and it's literally the music that determined the difference because they're close. I think I like the gameplay of one better than the other. I hated the longer stages versus I think I might have liked the longer stages versus the shorter stages, but I hate the music worse. I'm putting Mickey and Minnie Circus.
Really?
As number 5. Well, the problem is I think it was better than Mr. Nuts, but it's close. So I do feel like Mickey and Minnie could be number 4 for me. But I feel like wherever Mr. Nuts, if Mr. Nuts lands at, number 176, Mickey and Minnie is going to be 175.
I can see that.
I feel like it was just a slightly better version.
I can see that.
So, Mickey and Minnie, what's the name of that whole game, Josh?
The Great Circus Mystery, something Mickey and Minnie.
Yes, the name itself. You know what? It may make me...
it may drop down from Mr. Nuts.
How the hell can Disney make a game that's so weird? Or so confusing? Shoot, I got to scratch some of my list off here. So this one's making a big jump for me. And some of these games, when we play them, I'm higher on than, and now you think about it and you go lower, like Obidus. I had it at number 12, and I'm like, I think I was just sticking on with it being an RPG game. We played all these Amiga games, even though that was an Amiga game. Obidus was a horrible game.
Obidus was. It wasn't good. Everything it done was just bad.
So at the same time, I'm going to beat up Fatal Fury for being slow. This game, I think I had it ranked lower because it was slow. The hint of what you'll probably guess it to be was it was still fun. Because even though the questions were older than dirt, me, you, and my wife were still sitting down here playing it, and I still kicked all your asses. I'm putting Family Feud at number 4.
Fuck you and dog before the even question was said.
Family Feud. And I mean, the game was painfully slow. But, when I'm looking at it, I'd rather play it as these other games. I'm not saying that the other games may have had better production value, but I enjoyed it more. So I'm going with what I enjoy,
I can't fault you for that.
What you got for number 4? You got to be pretty close to some Family Feud in there.
I'm putting number 4. I mean, the game was good for what it done. The whole traversing of the 3D plane and everything. The only thing I hated about it is there wasn't a map and the fucking mist monsters. That's Dragon View.
Yes. Dragon View. I hated Dragon View when I played it. I feel like I just didn't. I feel like that part...
We didn't enjoy it enough.
It's that part in Jerry Maguire when he says, Jerry, you think we're arguing? I think we're finally talking. Like, exactly. That is literally it.
I mean, Dragon View was what? Our first game that we played?
It was. And I'm like, this is garbage. No. These other games are garbage.
These other games are terrible.
I have a new respect. And really where I realized that I can't remember what episode Obidus was. That was probably like, I don't know, 6, 7, somewhere in there. That's when I realized at that moment that I'd screwed up. Because at least Dragon View is like, we're going to give you an open world environment that you have to explore yourself. And I'm like, no, I don't want that. And even the animations, I hated the side streets, but I get what Dragon View was doing.
They tried.
When I got Obidus, I killed the damn dude. I couldn't advance in the game, and it let me kill him.
You didn't know what gold we have in Dragon View. And that's where I sat. Because, this entire time, like my previous rankings of Dragon View was down to 11. I didn't know what gold I had at that point in time.
Dragon View is the one that weighed on me the worst. I had it on my heart. We did Dragon View dirty. And my thing was like, what's worse? And this is when it hit me, when I'm playing Obidus. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm wandering around this world, and I've done screwed myself to where I can't beat the game, and I don't know it. Would I rather wander around a world aimlessly, trying to figure out how to win when I can't? Or would I rather go around Dragon View? Like, Dragon View's not going to let you die. Like, you can't kill a guy that you need to win the game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Obidus, I thought Dragon View was Obidus when I first played it. As the number one game, I feel like if I played Dragon View today, not only you got Dragon View as number 4 on your Mount Rushmore. That's the what?
Abraham Lincoln.
I got my Family Feud. I would have to gut check myself to say, does it belong 1, 2, or 3 right here? Like, I could argue it either way. There's no doubt that if the games that we played, it is on Mount Rushmore. Yeah, and we did him dirty. I feel like Dragon View is the reason we did a re-rank episode, and I feel like we could go back and play this game on a recap
and actually
appreciate it.
And actually respect it.
Yes.
I agree 100%.
I think it got done dirty because it was the first game we played. I would go ahead and tell you, if I had to throw multiple hundreds of dollars at a game, I would rather do it as this, because I know this game was expensive, and like Mr. Nuts and some of the other games, if I had to go physically spend my money at retail price, I think Dragon View would be the one I buy, just because I think there was more layers to it than those other ones.
You know what that means? Out of all this, we made the Dragon View cult happy.
They done stopped listening after episode 1. They're done. All right. So, what is your number 3 on your Mount Rushmore?
My number 3 is you ranked them. I think you ranked them prematurely, honestly, and I understand why you did. But it's Mickey and Minnie.
You got Mickey and Minnie.
Because, for one, it was a solid game. Yeah, the levels were too short, but you didn't have to tolerate the music of Mr. Nuts.
I feel
second...
go ahead.
I'm about to say, the second is, dude, it's Capcom game. I said, they knew what they were doing. They knew how to keep you intrigued in it. And thirdly, I think this was more related to the kids than the adult audience.
I feel like Mickey and Minnie, and this is why I put them and Mr. Nuts
side by side.
They're yin and yang for me.
They are.
Mr. Nuts is almost an impossible game for me to beat. Mickey and Minnie, all you gotta do is have the time. Mr. Nuts, I felt like was more fun, but the longer levels sucked. Mickey and Minnie, I felt was less fun, but the shorter levels kind of played to it. So I feel like no matter what, they're literally the yin, like.
They are.
If you would have came in and said, I rank Mr. Nuts 1 above Mickey and Minnie, I would understand why. You're just on that opposite side of it.
Yeah. It's a double-edged sword at that point in time. But the only reason why I put it at number 3 is I looked at this. For one, I couldn't get my kids to play it because they're tired of my bullshit. But secondly, it was a kids' game.
And it's a good game. Now, mind you, I've got Mr. Nuts at 5 and 6, so it's not like I hate these games. They're in the top third. You got Mr. Nuts at number 8, which I thought you would have a little higher. I see what you're missing in your list. So I'm kind of interested as what you're going to have. I think I know what your number 1's going to be. But, the difference between 5 and 3 isn't that. I mean, by the time we fill in some more games, I think me and you are going to be pretty close on Mickey and Minnie. We may be off on Mr. Nuts. I'm surprised you didn't. No, I'm not. I feel like you've got a soft spot for the Amiga in your heart, but I do remember you hating Mr. Nuts. Like, I could have seen going into this, maybe you like Mr. Nuts.
The sprint button.
I got you.
Come on.
I got you. Well, my third one, which I'm probably still too high on, just because it's a good damn movie. I enjoyed it. I could play it with the cheat involved, and I felt like I'm still okay. Nobody's going to call me a scrub for it. I got my True Lies as number 3.
And I can't fault you for that. It's just that my reasoning for it is you couldn't, to me, it felt like you couldn't beat the game without God mode. So that was my only stickler on it. I am basing it as that you had to have God mode. Like, I would like to beat a game without using that cheat. And that sucks for later on because you couldn't beat Contra without
the 30 live code.
You couldn't. Like, it was impossible. And but here's the only thing about Contra is they told you that game was impossible to beat without the God mode, but I'm pretty sure there's a speed run out there.
Was there a Konami code for Mickey and Minnie? I never tried it.
I don't think so, because Konami codes were only for Konami games.
Oh, it's Capcom. Sorry.
It's a Capcom game.
It's Capcom. I'm sorry.
So, I mean, Capcom had their own unique codes that I didn't try. But with Mickey and Minnie, I didn't feel like I needed it.
So, I think I know the answer to this question. What's more amazing? That we've got the same 4 on the bottom, or that we both have one of the same game? Like, at the end of the day, you got Super Putty and Jeopardy Sports to rank. I got Jeopardy Sports and Dragon View to rank. At the end of the day, the one thing you can't argue is Jeopardy Sports must be a damn good game. What's more amazing? We got Jeopardy Sports
or
still
Dragon
in
View.
there, or we've got the same 4 bottom. What's more, I guess, impressive, that we appreciate Jeopardy Sports, or that we know what sucks the most?
I think we know what sucks the most.
Okay, you're probably accurate. All right, so you're up for number 2.
Number 2 for me was Super Putty.
Super Putty.
And the reasoning why is I treated Super Putty like it truly was. It was an arcade game. And that was the reasoning why. And also, I thoroughly enjoyed all the other shenanigans that it brought to us.
It was just, I mean, it wasn't a bad game. And, I don't know if it's going to be a top 50% game by the time we get through them all. But it was okay. I would not have him in my number 2 spot for me. But I know, like, when we played it, you were way more entertained than I was. It just wasn't my thing. I did appreciate it.
I don't know why you're hiding your... Why are you hiding it? There's no reasoning to, because I know what number 1 is going to be.
Well, I already know your number 1 because you've got Super Putty as number 2. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm going to put a lot of apologies because it's weighed on me for as much as I shit on this game. Dragon View is not that bad a game.
It's not.
These other games we played is way better. Or way worse, I'm sorry. Is Dragon View my favorite game? Absolutely not. But I have a new respect. I tip the hat. My pride got the most of me.
It was number 1. So
it was number 1 as week 1 when we...
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, I felt bad about it, and I've worked my way up to where I kept Dragon View at number 4 through 15 games, and I still felt like I did Dragon View dirty. I felt like I did them dirty. I feel like, I'll go ahead and tell you, if we drew Dragon View today, we would have a far different view as playing it as our first game.
I agree. Like I said, my original rankings of Dragon View was, like I said, it fell to 11. And I fought to try to get that game back up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is what it is. We weren't appreciative enough of what this game was.
And at the end of the day, as we came in 15 games, we both got Dragon View in our freaking Mount Rushmore.
On Mount Rushmore.
And I'm like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I have it as Abraham Lincoln, and you have it as Thomas Jefferson.
Yes. And, I'm okay with that. Like, that it belongs on Mount Rushmore in 15 games. That weighed on me awful hard, Dang, I was totally screwed up. I realize how bad you've screwed up by putting Jeopardy Sports at number 6. I thought we were both. I'm shook. I thought we were coming in both at number 1 and saying Jeopardy Sports is the best game because Jeopardy Sports is what is left. Obviously, that was my number 1 game, and it just hit me. I thought that was your number 1. You put Jeopardy Sports where Family Feud should have been.
No, because Family Feud, I could still have fun with it because the questions weren't dated, George.
So you're telling me that Family Feud is your number 1 game?
Yes, because it was...
What about Dog?
For one, fuck off. That was bullshit. Secondly, again, that's what makes it fun. Like, it really does.
Hey, at the end of the day, for me, I played Jeopardy by myself. I enjoyed it. And to me, this is where I'm going to defend the Jeopardy. I know you hated hammering this thing out. I remember being young, and me and my brother, I remember Mom being sitting there, and we're like running in the living room to ask her questions. Not just on Jeopardy Sports, but any Jeopardy game. And then her telling us what she thinks the answer is. Now, mind you, we're some dumbass kids running the other room saying, like, who won the Indy 500? She's like, Mario Andretti. She's like, Mario Andretti. I'm like, how do you spell Mario? Like, we're young. We don't even know how to spell Mario. Here's Mario Brothers cartridge. Write that down. And then we're like, how do you spell Andretti? Yeah. And so next thing you know, we're sitting here, we're running through the damn house. Now, there's no internet at this time.
Yeah.
And then it goes, beep, beep. And then we lost because we timed out. So I appreciate, like, I remember hammering out, like, I remember even on the normal Jeopardy, one of the hardest questions to answer was, it was a slogan. And it was or it said, what is the NAACP or the United Negro College Funds, quote? And it was mind is a beautiful thing to waste, or a beautiful mind is a horrible thing to waste, or something. And I remember trying to top that out as a kid. It took me 59.99 seconds of 60 to hammer that out. So, like, I remember that's literally like grinding out to level 99 on Final Fantasy, like being so young trying to do that. And so that's why I do appreciate the struggle that Jeopardy is, even though Family Feud was. It was slow paced as well. I'm not going to argue with you because me, you, and my wife sitting here and we played this game, and I feel like kids were hating on me because I was that damn good.
It wasn't because you were good. It was because of the fact you got better at some of the questions than we did.
But at the end of the day, a woman who does not care about video games came into this room.
She played with us.
And she was having a hell of a time drinking some beer with us and playing this damn game.
And she even argued at you about it being bullshit of you saying dog.
Well, you know, it is what it is.
But listen, overall, I treated Family Feud as what it was. It's a family-style party-ish game. Sort of like Mario Party before Mario Party was a big thing. So that's why I put Family Feud as number 1. Is I really do think that it was a really nice aspect of the game. Because you could literally pass it off to different people. And also, you done it. You had the password. You could have kept going with your family and how much money you had.
The one thing where I tip my hat to the Jeopardy is when I looked at the trivia and they're like, this is the maximum amount of money you could win if you answered your daily doubles, like the maximum amount.
Listen, I agree with that.
And I remember Jeopardy. I remember sitting there while my brothers were playing, trying to write down all the answers. I can't read it because I couldn't write for shit then. I can't write for shit now. And I'm sitting there and we're like flipping through pages like that's going to matter. Yeah. Trying to remember the answers.
I agree. And we even brought it up to where Jeopardy had over 1,000 unique questions or something like that. Like, it was something ridiculous. So you would have never played that game and got the same questions unless you played that game for X amount of hours.
We played it enough when categories came up. We're like, like what would happen is when Jeopardy would come up, it'd be like, oh, I don't know them. Hit reset. And then we'd start it back up and it'd be like 2 categories. We're like, oh, we know those. So it's like, come on with them. So there was a sportsmanship to that. I do agree. Jeopardy is a good game. Family Feud's a good game. Family Feud's on my Mount Rushmore. I just got mine at the bottom of Mount Rushmore. You got it at the top. I got some nostalgia factor with Jeopardy. It's the same. Which I could agree if somebody argued the Fatal Fury, playing with their siblings, as I argue the Jeopardy. I respect that.
I agree. I can't get by. I mean, you are 100% correct on that. It's like, and I think that's going to be one of their biggest factors later on is the nostalgia of certain games.
Now, mind you,
you got 9 years on me, so my nostalgia style games are going to be like Mario, Donkey Kong, Mega Man. Now, that being said, is if I go back and try to play Mega Man now, I'm going to hate that game because I can't beat it for one.
And a lot of it is probably like when I was playing Jeopardy. I was so young, I didn't know any of the answers. People are just telling me answers, and I feel like I get to participate by entering it in. And then I'm slow. And it's just like, oh, you're faster than me. Like,
exactly.
There was panic in it. So we're going to do a quick rundown. Now, at the end of the day, we're not too far off.
We're not. It's pretty close on a couple of them.
Our marry, fuck, kill. We know who we're killing. Our bottom 4.
100%.
So here's Josh's 1 through 15. I got 3 questions after all this.
Okay.
I think we're closer than we thought. I thought we would be. You got Family Feud. This is going to be the new rankings, 1 through 15.
Yeah.
Family Feud, Super Putty, Mickey and Minnie, Dragon View, True Lies, Jeopardy Sports, Fatal Fury, Mr. Nuts, Time Slip, Dracula, No Escape, Roger Clemens, Kid Cleats, Obidus, Untouchables.
Yep.
I'm going 1 through 15. Jeopardy Sports, Dragon View, True Lies, Family Feud, Mickey and Minnie, Mr. Nuts, Time Slip, No Escape, Super Putty, Dracula, Fatal Fury, Roger Clemens, Kid Cleats, Obidus, and Untouchables. At the end of the day, we all agree that Roger Clemens, Kid Cleats, Obidus, and Untouchables suck.
Yep.
No need to play them. No need. So our bottom 4 is exactly the same. I would say our next 4 is roughly got 3 of the same 4 in there. The only thing is you're higher on Super Putty than I am. We're not too far off.
No.
So here is going to just be, I guess, some superlatives as we go out here. Okay. So these are questions that you're not aware of, and I've not even really thought about it a whole lot. Which game was your biggest surprise? Which game was, whether it's a surprise, good or bad? What do you think? I can go ahead and go with mine if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead with yours. I need a minute to think on this one.
My biggest surprise was True Lies. If you had told me that I'm going to put a game based off a movie in there, even though I love the movie, I've not watched the movie, even though it's sitting there on Plex to watch. I F'd the hell out of it. I remember watching the movie. I liked every one of the actors. I liked the director. There ain't a whole lot about the movie I didn't like, but going back, and I can't remember if I played True Lies as a kid. I feel like I did. It was a fun game, and I liked it because there was cheats built in, and I felt like they knew that game was made for cheats. I enjoyed True Lies. I would have never thought that I would have had on our Mount Rushmore, even 15 games in, a game based off a movie in the Mount Rushmore. That's where my biggest surprise was.
I get that. I really do. And I think my biggest surprise is Super Putty.
I can get that. Super Putty is going to come up a little later on mine.
Yeah, because of the simple fact, like I said, I treated it just. I keep reiterating this. It was an arcade game. I don't care what Amiga said or anything like that. It was an arcade game.
We're going to have to go back on one because a superlative we should have had that Super Putty would have won is the coolest box art. And it had some strange box art.
It had the coolest box art. I'm not going to lie.
It did have some good box art. So,
but
I will say that neither one of us heard of Super Putty. And I know you enjoyed it way more than me. Wasn't a bad game.
I said, the whole thing is, like I said, I treated it just like an arcade game. It was all about that high score. The storyline, nothing fucking mattered. It was entertaining about the enemies. You know, like I said, Space Ninja, hot dog with a fork in him, you know. There's a bunch of others out there. I'm drawing a blank right now. But
I remember the damn sumo wrestler.
Yeah, the sumo wrestler with an egg.
The jetpack dude, I remember when he had the sword and he hit you. But he didn't hit me the first time I went by.
Yeah, that was Space Ninja is what I called him. But like I said, it was fun. It was entertaining. But overall, I treated it like it was. It wasn't an arcade game.
Okay. Yeah. I'll tell you, Super Putty was a surprise just the whole game. that is definitely, it's got its own uniqueness. So, which game was the biggest letdown for you? And I can go ahead on this because at the end of the day, I don't think Untouchables wasn't a letdown because I think we knew it was going to suck. I'll go ahead and jump out there. Obidus was a huge letdown for me because I remember growing up, being in computer lab, there was a lot of text-based, like some of the coolest games when I was in school was like the simulation games. That kind of puts us in the time frame of where we were. So when you said, hey, we're going to have a text-based RPG game, man, I played 100 of these. I played them on the actual floppy disk, not 3.5 inch. It was the floppy Oregon Trail disc.
Yeah, it was the massive
and they were fun, but I was like, after playing Dragon View as like, Obidus, it's an Amiga game, it's an RPG, this is going to bring back some nostalgia. I thought I was going to love Obidus. I thought it was going to be awesome. I hated Obidus every minute of the way. Obidus was my biggest letdown out of all the games.
I think my biggest letdown is probably Time Slip.
Because you thought you were getting Contra.
Because I thought I was getting Contra.
Which they pretty much led you to believe you were getting Contra.
Yeah, they were. And I don't... And it goes back to the people that said this game was too easy. No, it wasn't. Fuck off. It really wasn't easy. It was difficult as all hell. But, I mean, they were probably saying that it's easier compared to Contra, which is probably true, which it is true. I mean, Contra, I haven't even told you that you had to use the Konami code to win. But overall, they gave me a Contra-esque game, but it didn't perform like Contra.
I get that. I enjoyed Time Slip more than you did. Even though you got Time Slip at number 9, I got it at number 7. I did enjoy it a little bit more. I didn't have high hopes for it. When I first seen the startup screen, it looked weird. I wasn't going to say I was more impressed by it, but I didn't have a high level set for it, so it didn't let me down personally as much. And Obidus, there's no reason I should have had it on a pedestal, but I did. So let's just run through this. I'm going to give you, this is kind of going to be a multiple choice. You know, Jeopardy, Family Feud, that's it. So you got Super Putty. How would you explain this game?
Again, a whimsical arcade game, just gather points.
So you're basically a pile of mush eating little Happy Meal, trying to save Happy Meal toys, going to a milk bar.
They were hamburger robots.
Yes, okay.
Get it right.
So I'm just going to go ahead and give my explanation. So yes, hamburger robots, a blob, trying to take them there, trying to mine the moon for gum. Is that what they were making?
Yeah.
Okay.
With a cat that we don't know what he is, but he goes, puzzle, and goes, Nyah!
So Mickey and Minnie going to some circus. Kind of weird, you know, not real entertaining. We're going to go on down here to Mr. Nuts, which is a better Sonic and a mediocre knockoff of Mario Brothers. Time Slip, which you're going to get you're fighting lizard people in a time-space continuum. Dracula, so you got vampires, just a really shitty version of it. Kid Cleats, gotta throw them in here. You're a soccer player from an Amiga game, battling aliens who stole the World Cup.
Are you going with unique storylines?
No, I want to know what the weirdest game we played is. Which is the weirdest one of these games?
Oh, God.
I know my answer.
I do too. I mean,
I feel like you're going to double down.
It's no choice. It's fucking Super Putty.
Super Putty is the weirdest game I think I've ever played in my life. Super Putty is the correct answer. Like, that was the weirdest of the games that we've played.
Well, yeah, by far it's not the weirdest.
Like, there's not really a story to it. That's what's weirder. Is if you give me a story and you got to connect the dots, and you're like, that's weird to connect those dots that far away. Super Putty's just like, here I am. Take me as I am. Leave me.
Like, this isn't the weirdest game I've ever played by far.
It is out of the 15 games we've played.
But out of these 15 games, yes, the weirdest game I played by far is the dating sim where you're just trying to date Colonel Sanders from KFC.
I've never played that.
Dude, let me tell you. It's a weird one. It's a Japanese-based romance, so it's fucking out there. But by our games, Super Putty, hands down, weirdest game, and that's also the reason why I love it. It's just so whimsical. It's so stupid.
I will tell you, Super Putty is the weirdest game we played. As I'm sitting here sounding it out, if you had to give an honorable mention, who's holding Super Putty's jockstrap?
Holding his jockstrap?
Who's the second worst game? Or not second worst game.
The second
weirdest game.
The second weirdest? Oh, God.
I'll tell you what mine is.
It's got to be Kid Cleat, right?
Kid Cleats. Yes.
Like it has to be.
Because not only do you have the technology to come to freaking United States, or the world, the Earth, you drop a plunger down on this World Cup, and then there's just one kid who looks you feel like
let's just, I don't want to say this, but let's just say how it is. He's Hispanic.
It's either a Hispanic or Italian, and they're very proud of making him that.
It's one of the two.
Apparently, according to them, they ain't nobody else plays soccer other than those. But it's just like, you can fly all the way in, you can drop a plunger from 80,000 feet, pluck this thing up, but the satellite that hits your ship, and then everybody wants to fight you to get the World Cup. Why the whole world comes together? The whole world is so proud. They would bring this trophy together and be like, "Oh, they won!" Look at this past World Cup. Everybody was I'm not an Argentina fan, but I respect that they won it. And weird storyline.
It is. It really is. And then also the fact is the world is 70% ocean, and it didn't land in the ocean.
Nope. And it's literally a trophy, probably about the size of, I don't know, let's just say like the Super Bowl trophy.
Yeah, it's not
probably
massive.
Comparable.
Yeah.
It goes through the atmosphere. It gets dropped. It drops on 7 different continents.
Oh, it's melted.
It doesn't destroy. I don't know. I do think Super Putty says something for it is super weird.
It is. It's extremely weird.
And Kid Cleats is super weird, but it is not close to Super Putty.
No, absolutely not. Super Putty by far is up there because of the uniqueness.
I think you got it right there. Once again, I'm going to run down the number 1 through 15. This is the re-rank list. This is what we're going from. Josh has got Family Feud, Super Putty, Mickey and Minnie, Dragon View, True Lies, Jeopardy Sports, Fatal Fury, Mr. Nuts, Tom Slip, Dracula, No Escape, Roger Clemens, Kid Cleats, Obidus, and the abomination that is the Untouchables. I'm going to roll with going 1 through 15. Jeopardy, Dragon View, True Lies, Family Feud, Mickey and Minnie Circus, Mr. Nuts, Tom Slip, No Escape, Super Putty, Dracula, Fatal Fury, Roger Clemens, Kid Cleats, Obidus, Untouchables. I think, even though we got some disagreements on here, I don't think we're too far off.
No, I think we're within a certain range of each other.
Out of all the games, I feel like we've did the dirtiest. This would be maybe one of the superlatives. I think we did Dragon View dirty.
I do too. I agree.
I feel more comfortable.
We didn't know what gold we had.
I want to go back and play Dragon View after playing these other games.
I want to know if there's ever a dragon in it.
I don't know. That might be pushing the limits. Well, you got the re-rank right here. Maybe when we get to the 20, 25, 30 range, we might do some more superlatives. We don't know what we're going to do. You let us know. Is there anything you want to add to the end of this, Josh?
No, I think you summed it up really well. I do think we done Dragon View dirty. It was a diamond in the rough, and boy, we didn't know how rough it was going to get.
Hey, we can argue at the top on what the best is, but we're in complete agreement on what some shitty games are.
Yeah, we know exactly what are the shitty games.
All right, well, we're done until we hit to the next re-rank or superlatives. See you guys.
See ya.